Hello, everyone. Once again, this is Dare to Speak, and this is part two of the myth of Jesus Christ. I wanted to also mention a few things that are also very important to remember. One such thing that's very important was, aside from what I already mentioned in part one, Jesus was never really a God figure. He was never a God. And I don't believe in Jesus, like I said before, but it was very evident that Jesus was not a very powerful God figure to be worshipped. He didn't want to be worshipped. The real Jesus from the Gnostic Gospels, which was purposely hidden away, and those who actually knew the secrets were actually killed or murdered or imprisoned for life in order to hide the truth about Jesus' real life. So that's why I say that Jesus never existed, the phony Jesus that people actually believe in. The real Jesus is completely different. He was the illegitimate son of a Jewish woman and Roman soldier. Like I said in the other video, Jesus' mother was raped at the age of 14. According to the Gnostic Gospels. If the world knew that, they're going to know that the greatest story ever told was the biggest lie ever told. And it is. It is the biggest lie. And the most dangerous thing is that people actually believe that lie.
Before the Bible became the Bible of today, there were many additional books that used to be a part of the Bible. They were removed in what was called the Council of Nicaea because those books contained too much information, dangerous knowledge.
Now, in the Council of Nicaea, Jesus was actually made into a divine being, a God figure, a God himself or God, whatever. It was all done through a vote. So he was actually purposely made up as a God. And in those days, any and all so-called miracles that he did was through word of mouth. It wasn't official. And as things got more exaggerated, it was not based on real eyewitness accounts. That's the thing. So that's something to actually think about. The Age of Reason by Thomas Paine is a very good book to read if you really want to know the truth about how Christianity came to be through corruption. Mary Magdalene, as I mentioned before, maybe I mentioned it in other videos as well, I don't know. Mary Magdalene was actually Jesus' wife. She was a woman that he fell in love with, and she was never a prostitute. Mary Magdalene was never a prostitute. She was an idealist, a revolutionist, who was pretty much preaching and telling what it is, how it is. And she was about to be stoned to death because of it. Because in those days, women were not supposed to be leaders of anything like that, or to inspire any kind of any kind of way of getting people to follow her as a leader. That only a man should do that. There's a great deal of chauvinism in those days. So they pretty much sullied her name. They sullied her reputation, and accused her of being a whore, a prostitute, and this and that, in order to ruin her credibility of what she really is, because she was really a person who shared the same bloodline, the same royal bloodline as King Solomon. That was the reason why. And she was seen as a threat because of it. They had a child together, Mary and Jesus. These are things in the Gospel of Philip, the Gospel of Mary Magdalene, the Gospel of Thomas, and the Gospel of Judas. And who knows what other books, from the Dead Sea Scrolls and stuff like that, who makes a completely different picture about Jesus, a much different story about Jesus, something that's more accurate. That's something to bear in mind. It's extremely important to remember, to know. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Questions or comments, you know what to do. And this is Dare to Speak, and to all of you, take care.